Incoming President of the United States, Donald Trump, has allayed fears of a trade rift between China and the United States during his 4-year term. Trump vowed to build a cordial work relationship with China. He made the commitment after a telephone chat with Chinese President Xi Jinping, stating that he would build a strong relationship aimed at making the world a more peaceful and safer place. He writes on a social media platform, Truth Social, "It is my expectation that we will solve many problems together and start soon immediately. We discussed balancing trade, fentanyl, TikTok, and many other subjects." He said the call with Xi is a very good one for both China and the United States. Join us for more on the United States and China bilateral relations. We're now joined by Uche Oti, a legal practitioner and public affairs analyst, joins us from Lagos, Nigeria. One welcome to you, Uche, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Uche, there have been concerns of diplomatic and economic difficulties between the United States and China once Trump is in office. Do you agree to such a view, judging by this recent phone call that just transpired between Chinese President Xi Jinping and President-elect Donald Trump?
Yes, definitely. I agree that there are concerns about the diplomatic relationship between the United States and China, and this has existed. If you recall, in 2018, and during President Trump's, the President-elect Trump's first tenure in office, he imposed some sanctions, what you would call some tariffs, because he was able to activate Section 301 of the Trade Act of 1974, which authorizes him to impose tariffs, where U.S. are being imposed with any kind of burden and on U.S. commerce. So he activated that in 2018, and this was as a result of a report by a U.S. department which claimed that China was engaging in some unfair trade practices, as well as intellectual property theft and trade deficit. So there was this trade deficit debate between United States and China. So all this led to these sanctions being imposed by U.S. on China. But these sanctions were actually double-edged. It was like a double-edged sword, because there were some retaliatory sanctions as well by China imposed against U.S., which ran into hundreds of billions of dollars. So definitely there's that tension that exists. And but with this call, like you've rightly said, this call that has happened between the President-elect Trump and President of China, Xi Jinping, I believe that is a welcome development, and I believe that something good can come out of it when you talk about the conversations that are being had on how well China and U.S. can get along, because you understand that this is actually a trade war, a serious trade war, talking about the economists who have come, actually various economists have come out to say that this free trade that is being enjoyed by both China and U.S. is something that can relatively affect the economic output and income of the economy. So it's something that really should be looked into by both countries. I believe and I hope that they can really come to an understanding.
Now, Uche, now that Trump has extended a sort of olive branch, a hand of fellowship with a phone call, would we be naive to think that this trade war, as you put it, is over? And should we believe that the two economic giants can work together, given the similarities in their economic interests? We do know there's a sort of competition between China and the United States for markets.
Yes, of course. These are two big giants. They're actually the biggest economies in the world. So definitely there is this competition. I don't think it's going to be the end of it, but I believe that it's something that this call can actually yield something for the future. But you also see that Trump, even in his campaign trail, he did say that he was going to impose a further 10% tariff, sanctions on China. So, sometimes some of these leaders, they say something, but they have other ideas. So we don't know what the foreign policy of United States is going to be under the Trump administration. But I believe strongly that the U.S. have a policy, a trade policy, which is going to continue even from the Trump administration into the Biden administration. It's interesting to know that the sanctions that were imposed by the Trump administration were carried along by Biden administration. Many people might not have thought that would happen, but that was the case. So U.S. have one mind on what they want to achieve, and these sanctions it led to an increase of over $80 billion, a tax increase of over $80 billion, and it affected about $380 billion worth of trade. So you can see that it's actually a very big deal. And I just hope that both countries, with this call, I see it as an olive branch that has been extended. And because if they don't agree and come to an understanding, it's going to have some dire consequences for the global economy.
Thank you so much, Uche Onti, for sharing your very wonderful insight on this subject. Do appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.